So speaking of the finiteness of our existence on in this world, uh, so on the front of psychedelics and teaching you lessons as a researcher, as a human being, what have you learned about death, about mortality, about the finiteness of our existence? Are you yourself afraid of death? And how has your view, do you ponder it? And has your view of your mortality changed with the research you've done?
Yeah. Yeah. So I do ponder it, and
Are you afraid of death?
probably on a daily basis I ponder it. I'd have to pick it apart more and say, yeah, I am afraid of dying, like the process of dying. I'm not afraid of being dead. I mean, I'm not afraid of, I think it was Penn that said, and he may have gotten it from someone else, but like, I'm not afraid of the year, 1862 before I existed. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid of the year 2262
Yeah.
after I'm gone. Like, it's going to be fine. But yeah, dying, like, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't afraid of, you know, dying. And so there's both like the process of dying, like, yeah, it's usually not good. It'd be nice if it was after many, many years and just sort of, I'd rather not fall, die in my sleep. I'd rather kind of be conscious, but sort of just fade out with old age maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just being in an accident and like, horrible diseases. I've seen enough loved ones. It's like, yeah, this is not good. This is enough to be, I'd like to say that I'm peaceful and sort of balanced enough that I'm not concerned at all. But no, like, yeah, I'm afraid of dying. But I'm also concerned about, I think about family. Like I'm afraid, or at least concerned about like not being there, like with a 3-year-old, not being there for him and my wife and my mom the rest of her life. I'm concerned more about like the harm that it would cause if I left prematurely. And then kind of even bigger along the lines of some of the stuff that forward thinking we've been talking about. I think maybe way too much about just like, and I'll never know the answer. So even if I live to, 120, but like, I want to know as much as I can, but like, how is this going to work out? Like as humans, like, are we, and a big one I think is, are we going to, and I don't think, unfortunately, I'm going to learn it in my lifetime, even if I live to a ripe old age, but well, I don't know.
Is this going to work out?
Like, are we going to escape the planet? I think that's one of the biggies. Like, are we going to, like, the survival of the speed? Like, I think the next, like, the time we're in now, it's like with the nuclear weapons, with pandemics, and with, I mean, we're going to get to the point where anyone can build a hydrogen bomb. Like, it's like, you just like or engineer like the, something that's a million times worse than COVID and then just spread it. It's like, we're getting to this period of, and then not to mention climate change, it's like, although I think that's not, there's probably going to be surviving humans with that regard, but it could be really bad. But these existential threats, I think the only real guarantee that we're going to get another, you name it, 1,000 million, whatever years is like diversity. Diversify our portfolio, get off the planet, don't leave this one. Hopefully we keep, but like, and it's like either we're going to get snuffed out like really quickly, or we're going to like, if we reach that point, and it's going to be over the next like 100, 200 years, like we're probably going to survive like until like, I mean, like our son, like, and even beyond that, like we're probably going to be talking about millions and millions of years. It's like, and we're, I don't know, in terms of the planet, 4 billion years into this. And depending on how you count our species, we're millions of years into this. And it's like, this is like the point of the relay race where we can really screw up.
So that would make you feel pretty good when you're on your deathbed at 120 years old, and there's something hopeful about, there's a colony starting up on Mars, and it's like,
Titan, like whatever, like, like that we have these colonies out there that would tell me like, then at least we'd be good until like the, hopefully, probably until the sun goes red giant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than, like 20 years from now when there's someone with their finger on the nuclear button that just, misperceives the radar, like the signal they think Russia's attacking, they're really not, or China, and like that's probably how a nuclear accident war is going to start, rather than or the like I said, these other horrible things.
Does it not make you sad that you won't be there if we are successful at proliferating throughout the observable universe? That you won't be there to experience any of it? It's just the
Yeah,
ego death, right? It's the death because you're still gonna die and it's still gonna be over.
right.
That's Ernest Becker and those folks really emphasize the terror of death that, if we're honest, we'll discover if we search within ourselves, which is like, this thing is gonna be over. Most of our existence is based on the illusion that it's gonna go forever. And when you sort of realize it's actually going to be over, like today, like I might murder you at the end of this conversation. uh, it might be over today, or like you go on going home. This might be your last day on this earth, and it's. I mean, like pondering that, and I suppose one thing to be me. If I were to push back, it's interesting. Is you actually, I think you see comfort in the sadness of how unfortunate it would be for your family to not have you. Because the really, even the deeper, yes, but that's the simple fear. Even the deeper terror is like this thing doesn't last forever. Like I think I don't know, there, like, if it's hard to put the right words to it, but it feels like that's not truly acknowledged by us, by each of us.
Yeah, I think this is I mean, getting back to the psychedelics in terms of the people in our work with cancer patients who we had psilocybin sessions to help them, and it did substantially help them. The vast majority, in terms of dealing with these existential issues. And I think, it's something I could say that I really feel that I've come along in that, both like being with folks who have died that are close to me, and then also that work, I think, are the two biggies. And sort of like, I think I've come along in that, that sort of acceptance of this, like, it's not going to last. And even, whether we're at the personal level or even at the species levels, like at some point, all the stars are going to fade out, and it's going to be the realm of black, which is going to be the vast majority if unless there's a big crunch, which apparently doesn't seem likely. Like most of the universe, there's this blink of an eye that's happening right now that life is even possible, like the era of stars. So it's like, we're going to fade out at some point, like, and, then we get at this level of consciousness and like, okay, maybe there is life after death. Maybe time's an illusion. Maybe we're going to like,
Yeah.
that part I'm ready for. Like, I'm like, like that would be really great. And I'm not afraid of that at all. It's like, even if it's just strange, like if I could push a button to enter that door, I mean, I'm not going to, die, I'm going to kill myself, but it's like, if I could take a peek at what that reality is, or choose at the end of my life, if I could choose of entering into a universe where there is an afterlife of something completely unknown versus one where there's none, I think I'd say, well, let's see what's behind that.
That's a true scientist way of thinking. If there's a door, you're excited about opening it and going in.
Right. But I am attracted to this idea, like, it's, and I recognize it's easier said than done to say I'm okay with not existing.
Yeah.
It's like the real test is like, okay, check me on my deathbed. It's like, yes, I'd be all right. It's a beautiful thing, and the humility of surrendering. And I really hope, and I think I'd probably be more likely to be in that realm right now than I would, like, if, or check me when I get a terminal cancer diagnosis. And I really hope I'm more in that realm, but I know enough about human nature to know that, like, I can't really speak to that because I haven't been in that situation. And I think there can be a beauty to that, and the transcendence of like, yeah, and it was beautiful, not just despite all that, but because of that, because ultimately there's going to be nothing, and because we came from nothing and we dealt with all this shit, the fact that there was still beauty and truth and connection, like that, like it's a beautiful thing. But I hope I'm in that. It's easy to say that now,